All right, Chris. We are now at our final ACC preview for 2026. We are now about to talk about the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They had a really good season last year, Chris. What capped off that bowl win against Mississippi State in the Duke's Mayo Bowl with a 9-4 record, and they're looking to do some big things in 2026. Hopefully for the fans, Chris. Five key takeaways for the Demon Deacons this season. Chris, I'll go ahead and pitch it off to you, good sir. What do we have for Wake Forest this season? Like I said, had a great season last year. What was it? I think me and
Nine
you
and
had
four.
talked about it. Yeah, they were 9-4. They've only had like 4 seasons with a
Yeah,
record like
only
that.
4 9-win season in
Yeah,
program history. So yeah, they making things happen.
yeah, exactly. Making things happen indeed. So, yes, sir. I'll go ahead and start off with you. Five key
Mhm.
takeaways. What are we looking at this season for Wake Forest?
Yeah. So um, first and foremost, the defense is was nasty last year, and I expect this group to be just as nasty this season. They're bringing back 8 projected starters from last year's team, so you have a cohesive unit coming back. You got a couple really good guys, of course. You have Langston Hardy at linebacker, who's someone that could potentially be on an all-conference preseason team, and could also earn an all-conference honors once the season is over, once it's said and done. So you have him. You also have Patterson coming back on at DB as well for the Demon Deacons. So 2 potential guys that can earn all ACC honors, helping lead the defense in 2 different levels, which is key. So I expect the defense to be just as filthy as it was last year. The team only gave up 23 points per game, and so that's a really good start, foundation for this team to have, especially when you're replacing a lot of different pieces on that offensive side of the ball, Kory. Um, Secondly, point number 2, I think they upgraded in the quarterback position and what they can do throwing the ball. Robbie Ashford was QB last season. Dynamic player with his legs. If the play breaks down and he scrambles, he's tough. You know what I'm saying? He's someone that can make some plays with his feet. And he had over 100. He had like 130 rushes last season. Of course, now we know college football. Some of those are sacks, but he did. He was very much involved in the running game for them last year and was making plays as a QB with his feet. So out is Robbie. In comes Gio Lopez. Now you're probably at home thinking Gio Lopez. That name sounds familiar. Well, that's because he was starting at quarterback for North Carolina last year for Bill Belichick, at least to start the season. And then
Everything just started
things,
crashing down from there.
yeah, things. We saw how that went, Kory. The year one experiment for Bill Belichick at UNC wasn't the best experience for Tar Heels and Tar Heel fans, but Gio Lopez, somebody that did play at South Alabama before going to UNC, is a talented quarterback. And I think he can get back to himself here at Wake Forest. And based on things that are coming out of camp, he likes the vibe, the locker room. These guys are having fun. They're getting to work, but they're also having fun as well. So hopefully he can bounce back. But I think he is somebody. Even last season, we saw that he can complete the ball when it comes to that intermediate passing game. He threw for like 50% from passes like 10 to 19 yards, and I think that's going to be the base of this offense. We'll see how that vertical passing game is, especially when you have a new fleet, new crop of receivers as well. But I feel confident that he can help this offense stay on track and move the chains. So I like what he brings to the Demon Deacons, compared to some of the shortcomings Robbie had as a passer. And then number 3, Kory, yes, Claiborne is gone. Your stud veteran running back from last season who was just a beast and bulldozing people. But I think there won't be much fall off, and it's possible there might not be a fall off, Kory, when you bring in Katie Daniels, who was a backup running back at Florida. But this is someone who is certified. He was a stud coming out of high school, 4-star recruit out of West Point, Mississippi. Of course, we know all about the Mississippi recruits, Kory, being a Mississippi State uh, alumnus. And looking at some of the guys that we see on these recruiting boards and playing in these state championship games, and we're like, why are these guys not signing to state? Well, Katie was one of the guys that didn't go to Mississippi State, went to Florida. And he was a stud in high school. Helped the Green Wave win a state championship. Also earned Mr. Football honors as well. So he's one of the ones. He's a very, very talented player, and I think he's going to get his opportunity to showcase that talent at Wake Forest. He got stuck in a situation where he's playing behind Jaden Ball. Jaden Ball is one. He's a real deal, Kory. Like it happens to the best of them. We saw Jameson Williams have to leave Ohio State to get a chance to shine, playing behind all those stud wide receivers. So sometimes it works out like that. But I feel like Katie will find a home with the Demon Deacons, and I think he can have a special season. So those are three points, three top reasons I feel like the Demon Deacons can be legit again in 2026. And I know you have a couple more to add on to that.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Chris. Those are some really good points for Wake Forest this season. Man, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the quarterback standpoint, the running backs. I think this team, after seeing what they did in 2025, there's no doubt in my mind that I think that they can replicate that or even, break through that ceiling in 2026. I think they have a great opportunity in front of them, and the stars can align with the talent that they have brought in to become that team. One of the last points I wanted to mention was their receivers that they have coming in from just the portal. They have a couple of receivers that I'm liking that's going to be a part of this team, Chris. I'm liking Antonio Meeks, transfer receiver from Louisville. A couple other guys, Nye Carr, transfer out of Miami. You're bringing in like a guy that has a championship pedigree. Granted, Miami didn't win the national championship last season, but he was a part of that team that got them to the big dance. So bringing in talent like that is always helpful. And it's always helpful for like the younger guys that are trying to make their mark on the team. So I think that's big. One Dame Davis Jr., wide receiver from UTEP, he's a part of this Demon Deacons program. Just a wide array of receivers in the transfer portal. And look, I know that Coach Dickert is mainly a defensive coach. I mean, that's one of the reasons why their defense was so stout last season. And no doubt in my mind that they won't be just as stout in 2026. But in terms of the offense, I think they have something cooking with the receivers. So, if they, get Gio Lopez acclimated, which it looks like they have with that program and with those receivers, look for them to light it up out there at Wake Forest, folks. So that's what I'm interested in seeing. And my last takeaway, I just want to give a shout out to Jake Dicker and what he's done during his short time being there, Chris. I mean,
Yeah.
look, this is a guy. He was previously, before he took this job, he was at Washington State, and look, he could have stayed there, but hey, he wanted to be a part of the ACC conference, wanted to be a part of this Demon Deacons program to help reshape what everyone looked at Wake Forest as being. And like, you know, a lot of people always looked at Wake Forest football as being like one of those cellar dweller programs. Like, hey, they can't never get over the hump against teams like Miami, Clemson, the Florida States of the world, not even the Louisvilles out there. But you look at them last year, and they look like they were clicking on all cylinders. And so, you know, overall, I got to give a big shout out to Jake Dickert for creating that culture. And I think as long as he's going to be there, I think they're going to be in the running for an ACC championship berth. If they can play their cards right, Chris, I think they're right there in the thick of it all. So, yeah, man, I'm liking what I'm seeing from this program right now. Just got to put it all together, but I think a good first start after what we saw in 2025. I think you can use a lot of what you learned and a lot of the players that you brought in to build on for a great 2026.
Agreed. No, I mean, to go off of your point, you know, that this team lost to an underperforming Florida State team and got beat down in Tallahassee. Kory, I think it was like 42-7. They
Yeah.
got the paws put on them, but that didn't derail the season, and that could have derailed the season for them when you playing well and you lose a game like that on the road. But you know, credit to the team for staying the course and trusting in their coach, and you know, of course, it showed on field that these guys are buying what Coach Dickert is selling.
Exactly. So yeah, man, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, 42-7. That was your score. Heading down Tallahassee last season. So yeah, man. Yeah, I'm looking at what I'm seeing from this team. I think the sky's the limit for them in 2026. But before we head out of here, Chris, let's look at the schedule real quick. I'll say this: you don't have to worry about Florida State this season, Demon Deacons fans. Like they are not on this schedule at all. So hey, you can wipe the sweat off of your forehead. But yeah, you start off the season with Akron. I think that should be a good win for them to start off the season. At Purdue, it's going to be the second game of the season. So, you know, you have a little bit of adversity of going on the road, tightening up that chin strap, being focused. Can you take care of business on the road? It's going to be a big test, whether it's Purdue or, you know, whether it's any other team in the ACC. But
no, this, like you said, I mean, this is Power Four football. You know, playing a Big Ten team on the road. That's a good test.
Right. So yeah, taking on a Big Ten team. You know, you roll with the punches, and you know you see where you're at. So I think it's a good test. It gets real. Third game of the season versus Miami. Thankfully, it's a home game, so you know, hopefully you got all the early season jitters out the way. You know, in the first two games, and yeah, hopefully you can go out and really showcase what you're made of in this game. So yeah,
hey,
man.
This reminds me of those times where you know, because I mean, we relate to Mississippi State a lot. Remember when Mississippi State to try to catch LSU early in the season?
Oh yeah,
hope they could beat LSU.
That's this game. That's this game right
this
here.
Is that kind of game.
Absolutely. No, you never lied, Chris. So yeah. Yeah, it's a big test. Big test, Wake Forest fans. If you can handle Miami, you got them at home.
Hey, they turned up out there in Wake Forest if they beat Miami. Oh, it's lit.
Look, at this point, we're gonna have to start looking at Wake Forest as being a real life threat in the ACC. Like there's no there's no
But
sugarcoating it.
that's your conventional trap game, though, Kory. It another little SEC parallel. It reminds me of when Georgia come into the season top 5 in the nation. Now you got to go play at South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and that game was always tricky, boy. So this is as much as it's a test for for Wake Forest. It's a test for Miami too.
Mm-hmm.
Miami needs to come in locked in because Wake Forest clearly has shown they are capable of playing really good football.
Yeah,
So this would be a good game to keep an eye on.
yeah, yeah. Like, look, if look, you can go out there and say Wake Forest doesn't know anything about big boy football if you want. After what I saw last season, I think they know exactly what big boy football is. So, hey, all I'm saying, Miami fans, just just come prepared. That's all I'm saying. Come prepared. But yeah, man, yeah, there's so many games on this schedule. I like September the 26th, um, the week following the Miami game at Louisville. You have to travel to
Oof.
Louisville. Look, it's not easy playing there. It's just not. So
Nope. Nope.
that's like the adversity, it just continues. At NC State, October the 10th, after the NC State game at Cal, October the 17th. Look,
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
cross country,
You got some good. Those are some gut checks right there. Yeah.
back to back, man. I'll say because that's like the middle of the season. Yeah, that's really going to test your might right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's we're
An
really going to see.
emotional in conference, in state game
Hmm.
when you take on NC State, and then to
Yeah,
follow that with a test on the other side of the country in in Berkeley, California.
Whew.
It's not going to be easy.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. So yeah, man, and got a couple other games. October the 31st, taking on Virginia. That could be a trap game. Shortly after
Away
what
game
two
stretch.
two
Yeah.
away game stretch. So yeah, you got that at SMU and then at Georgia Tech back to backs. Like those, it's always those away stretches. That's what I'm looking at with this schedule. So it's not the easiest. And then you cap off the regular season against Duke. So which is a home game. So yeah, that's your schedule, man.
Every win will be earned.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I think Wake Forest, they found their spark last season. And you got some guys that have now left the program, but with Coach Dicker being back there for his second season with the Demon Deacons, and knowing what he expects from his defense and knowing what he has offensively, I look for them to be just as competitive, maybe if not
Yeah.
more.
This team, man, they can definitely turn some heads. They showed in the bowl game what they are capable of doing against another Power Four school, an SEC school. The way they handled the Bulldogs, um, they beat SMU last year. Kory, yeah, you lost to Florida State, but you turned around and beat SMU. So this team, they've shown they can win some of these big time games in conference in the ACC. What's going to be interesting is people are going to be checking for them now this year. They're not catching anybody by surprise. So, can they handle that? That's the question we'll get answered this season.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, we will find out what Wake Forest does in 2026. Indeed, Chris.